let's go to the land of corporate NFTs. Let's talk about Salesforce and Polygon. Polygon racking up a number of big wins as it relates to big Web2 brands. Salesforce is one of those. Salesforce is going to dabble in the NFT space as it relates to loyalty rewards and other perks. This, I think, interestingly comes on the heels of Meta, Facebook parent company, winding down its NFT adventure over in Instagram. So there may be some momentum for the Web3 believers in the hallowed halls of Silicon Valley, and this may be that. Or, I don't know, maybe just Polygon here is playing to win. Interesting to see. Definitely some big names involved. Going to toss this to David for his initial thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the contrast with Meta / Facebook, which I always hate to call Meta, is useful because the Meta initiative was on Instagram and I think one other, but basically it was retail focused, it was mass focused, and Salesforce doesn't really do that. I mean, to my knowledge at all, they're really focused on small groups and services for businesses. Maybe they're doing some consulting to help people build retail facing operations, but I think that the NFT stuff. It does. I'm still disappointed that Meta pulled out, but what are they going to do but disappoint you? But the point being, it really works better when you're starting with smaller groups, doing stuff that has a much more specific application where you can build systems that interact with these things in multiple ways rather than just making it your profile or something. Although, I think those programs are great and I'm for them. So, I mean, this does seem interesting. A lot of NFT applications are more focused on helping groups work together. So it makes sense at a high level. And obviously Polygon remains on a pretty solid run here. So good for them. We'll see what happens. A lot of these corporate tie-ups don't tend to work out. So I wouldn't get too ahead of yourself, but it seems interesting. Adam, you want to chime in?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll take a slightly more optimistic approach on this one. When we're talking about Polygon, clearly, again, like their biz dev has just been on fire. Like they're, of all of the platforms that are out there and protocols that are out there, they're really, really doing a good job with these types of larger corporate partnerships that appear to have something real behind them. Now, secondly, I would distinguish between what Instagram was doing, which was a very kind of artistic, traditional NFT play type of thing, just bringing it to a different audience, right? But really, it was an Instagram product. They were the platform, and then they had users on it. Salesforce doesn't really work like that. Salesforce is really an invisible, gigantic company that sits behind so many names out there and so many systems that you don't even know that they power. And I tell you, since the very earliest days of non-currency token use cases back in 2014, when I started what I believe was the first tokenized rewards program, rewards programs have been a very, very, very powerful thing. We've most recently seen that with Starbucks, but Starbucks had to do something of a bespoke program, right? So if what Salesforce is essentially offering here is the ability to create interoperable rewards programs that have the advantages of something like airline miles, but have also the advantages that you get from sort of Web3 native blockchainized tokens and things like that, that strikes me as something that's really powerful, not because of what it means for Salesforce, but because of what it means for all of those users. To the extent that they want to do something like this, it now becomes easy. And again, that interoperable nature of it, I think, is something of a killer app when it comes to things like rewards programs that, it'll take a while, maybe 10 years, but I suspect that becomes a big, big deal in the future. So that's my read on it. Overall pretty positive for me. And back to you, Zach.
That was a big picture take. That was a gigabrain take right there. The idea that we might have tradable airline mile NFTs at some point in the future, powered by such technology. Amazing.